Hi everyone, my name's Natasha. As Tom said, I've previously been involved in Vibewire and fastBREAK. Usually I'm over near the Black Star pastry table, either eating or volunteering over there. But today I'm thrilled to be standing up here in front of you all to tell you about my obsession with using media to change the world. But I'll go back a little bit further and tell you why I'm obsessed with using media to change the world. So once upon a time, I lived in a country called Bhutan. And for those of you who don't know, Bhutan is a fairly unique country. So it's nestled in the Himalayas, in between two of the world's superpowers, being China and India. They grow marijuana wild over there, something that people always find quite interesting. They peacefully transitioned over to being a democracy in 2008. Their king decided that it was time to hand over power to the people. And they also measure something called gross national happiness. Now, gross national happiness might sound like something that, maybe they thought up while they were enjoying the marijuana, which grows wild over there. But gross national happiness is actually a legitimate government policy. Everything that's put forward in Parliament is measured against gross national happiness, and every part of Bhutanese society feels some sense of responsibility towards contributing to gross national happiness. Now, while I was over in Bhutan, I was actually working in the media, and coming from Australia, the idea of being able to use the media for happiness was not something that really was something that I connected with. But here I was working at one of the country's first non-government newspapers, where for the very first time, they had the chance to put their own voices in the media, and they were determined to use it to put the information out there to the right people, direct resources in the right way, to make sure that the media was used to contribute to creating a better society, to contribute to saving the world. Now again, I thought to the media back at home, when we have things like this, and where we literally have the power of the media in our very own fingertips at all times of the day. Now I know at an audience at Vivid Ideas and at fastBREAK, I know that you are all living lives saturated with media. I'm sure there's plenty of people in this audience who are guilty of having checked their email or their notifications first thing this morning. I'm sure there's plenty of you who would, without even looking down at your phones, be able to tell me how much battery life is left on your phones because you've checked it that recently. I'm pretty sure there are some people in here who are guilty of that. But that's how connected we are. Now, some people might find this sad, but I, being an optimist, find this connection and these tools very, very exciting because I believe that there's the potential to do really big things with these tools. So things that are more than just, taking a selfie, things that are more than just sharing, really cute cat memes, which are cute and entertaining, but there's something more that we can do with these powerful tools. Okay, so we've seen really good examples around the world of the way social media has been used to create movements. This particular photo came from the protest, the Arab Spring, and the sign that this gentleman is holding actually says, "Thank you, Facebook." Now, I would like to think that it doesn't take a time of political turmoil or political upheaval for us to actually use these tools to do something more, although, political turmoil and political upheaval is something we're getting more and more used to here in this country. But I'd like to think that it doesn't take until these times to actually get to more than sharing cat memes or taking selfies. I'd like to play a video of somebody who's just like you and me, who's been able to use these tools to create a movement.
I'm cooking cookies.
You are? That sounds fun. So tell me, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas?
I want a dinosaur easy bake oven.
Why don't they have any boys in the Easy Bake Oven commercial?
Because only girls play it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this was a video made by McKenna Pope, who is 13 years old. She wanted to buy her little brother an Easy Bake Oven for Christmas because he likes cooking. But he told her that he didn't want the Easy Bake Oven because Hasbro's advertising for Easy Bake Ovens only contained girls. So cooking, he thought, was for girls. She filmed this video, uploaded it to change.org, got 45,000 signatures, and Hasbro paid attention to it. They ended up changing their advertising for Easy Bake Ovens to include both boys and girls, and they ended up making Easy Bake Ovens in more gender-neutral colours. Now, as you can see, this is somebody who has exactly the same tools at their disposal as you and I do. What mattered in this case was not the production quality of what she made, it was her authenticity. So to create movements, we need to be authentic in what we're doing. She didn't have millions of dollars in budgets to create something fancy and big. It was the message behind it that really resonated with people. Now, I'd like to contrast with somebody who used social media to do something that wasn't so authentic. So earlier this year, some of you may have seen the fabulous Andrew Bolt do a hashtag #AskBolt, where it was meant to appear like he was willing to listen to other people's opinions and was willing to engage in open conversation. But this hashtag ended up getting really trolled. People started tweeting things like, do you cringe when you put your left shoe on? How does it feel to be a nut and a bolt at the same time? So it was clear that the power of the crowd decided that this was not a genuine effort, and it was just completely thwarted. So number one, you need to be authentic in what you're doing. Number two, you need to use the right tools. This is something that really bugs me actually a lot of the time. I'm sure you guys see on Facebook those posts where people are like, this post needs to get 7,000 likes and this person will have their brain tumor removed. These things really annoyed me because I can't picture surgeons standing around a table with their iPhones going, you know what guys, we only have 6,900 likes, we can't operate. This really annoys me because it's not the right tools which are directing resources in the right direction, but the right tools are out there. For McKenna Pope, it was change.org, a legitimate online platform which collects online signatures in a legitimate way and gains the attention of corporate giants like Hasbro. But the other tools that are really exciting me are things like crowdfunding, things where financial resources can be directed to the efforts that are changing the world. As Tom said earlier, I'm on the team at Start Some Good, and I've seen amazing things happen through this platform. I've seen people as young as 16, as old as 80, get the finances for projects that they are doing to change the world. And they don't have to be big non-profits like the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre, who recently raised $150,000 for a project. They're people, like I said, as young as 16 who might raise $1,000 to start a community project. But it's using the right tools to make things happen. And the final thing to remember is to actually have an end goal in all this that you're doing. So to go beyond just, creating conversation, creating awareness, because I think we're past that point. I think we need to remember that social media is not a replacement for social action. It's a tool for organizing social action. So like I said, being able to get the resources in the right place to do this. Okay, so I'm going to put a challenge out to you all today, because I know that you're all probably sitting there tweeting on the fastBREAK hashtag or the Vivid Ideas hashtag. So I'd like to put a challenge out to you all today to spend, 3, 2, or even 1 minute using your social media for something bigger. So using it to take an action to try and maybe not save, but change the world today. So to, go and sign a petition on change.org, go and get behind a crowdfunding campaign or something along those lines. And I've taken the liberty of putting some steps together for you, so you have no excuse for not doing it today. So if you go to the link http://bit.ly/Natasha Akib, there's a couple of steps you can take. Also, if you scan the QR code, but my brother told me that QR codes aren't cool anymore and nobody uses them, so that might not work if you don't have a QR code scanner. But you are the people who are going to create movements. If it's not the people who turn up here on a Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. to something called Save the World who are going to create movements, who is? You are the people who are going to save the world. So with that, I'd like to remind you that you have the power to save the world in your very hands. So use it wisely. Thanks very much.
People will leave today with a really good toolkit of actions to save the world.
People just taking matters into their own hands.
We really do have the power
to empower people to, feel comfortable in their lives.
Connect that passion and talent I have.
Don't just do one thing, do 100 things.